Okay, this is the third time the Ferrari SF90 Stradale special event appears in-game since the car itself was added to Asphalt 9 Legends, and I will be mad honest with you all guys. This one right here is probably the best special event rerun of this car I have ever seen out of the 3 times we got the chance to play a special event related to the Stradale, which I will talk about in a while. Let's get into it. Well, the first thing that got my attention is that this time this special event is really short, and by short I mean that you can actually unlock all the time block stages in just 1 week, and I really like that because the shorter the time we have to wait in order to unlock a certain stage to move through the special event and get more rewards, the better. So we are already starting with a great thing, and I'm quite happy about that after the pain I had to experience in order to max out my ATS Automobili GT in another special event. But now let's focus into this special event requirement, because just because the event itself is shorter and thus we need less conditions overall, it doesn't mean that there are less cars required to, complete the entire thing. On the very first stage we can use the Stradale completely for free, and then on the second one we can see the Lamborghini Countach 25th Anniversary Edition, aka the first car that comes to my mind when I think about the worst Asphalt 9 car ever. However, if you click on the stage, you can see that you don't only need the Countach but also the Italdesign 01 in order to get all these stage rewards. Well, being completely honest, this Countach appeared in a Legends Pass, and if you didn't have it back then, some ads appear giving it for free not so long ago. So it's not a super rare car to have even if you are a free-to-play player. Pretty much the same goes to the Italdesign 01, with the difference that this one has had several car hunts and is way more common overall, so it shouldn't be a really hard stage for a big percentage of the player base. If we move on to the third stage, this time we can see the Ferrari F40 as the main car, which I remember I maxed out from a car hunt, even though I can't remember if it was a Legends Pass car hunt or a normal one, but yes, it appeared that way. And the second car is the Maserati MC12, which appeared at least a couple of times through Grand Prix, if I'm not, completely wrong. But anyways, I had this car at 3 stars already, so I would say that it wasn't really hard to obtain overall. On the fourth stage we have another SF90 Stradale free try, and if we check the fifth stage, the Lamborghini Miura Concept 1 welcomes us to a stage where we will need the Lamborghini Essenza as well. You see, on this one I think more people may have a small problem, and I'm not talking about the Miura since it was a Grand Prix car as well as a car hunt one, but about the Essenza, because that one, despite it was released through a Grand Prix, has been way more rare to spot ever since, so I guess that not many people have it nowadays. On the sixth stage we have the LaFerrari Aperta, which is actually one of my favorite A-Class cars, which appear a few times through its special event as well as through the game shop, where you can get blueprints of this car once you reach a certain garage level with credits, as well as epic import parts which you can get using trade coins on the game shop as well. Overall, not a hard car to unlock with these days if you have been playing for a while. The Pagani Huayra Air, which is the other car required at this stage, is however other story, because this one, despite it has appeared a few times, never was that easy to unlock, since not as many people decided to go for it because it's not a king of its class due to its pad drift capabilities. So I guess that the Huayra Air will be the biggest obstacle for those looking to complete the entire event. I got it not because I like it, by the way, just because I needed it in order to progress at a certain special event, which I can't remember right now for some reason. The 7th and 8th stages are just built around the Stradale, but you will be able to play them only if you have your Stradale, of course, unlocked at a certain amount of stars in order to compete properly, since as everyone knows, in the last rank stage, the first position will be occupied by players with golden Stradales, but it is what it is. Now it's time to talk about the rewards of the special event, because this time there are some rewards that really make this Stradale special event rerun even more interesting. We may need 9 cars in order to complete the entire event, but we don't have to get all the conditions in order to get the SF90 Stradale decal, so I assume that you can get it without having to completely max star up all the cars. But for me, the best thing this event has is no more and no less than the tokens. I mean, you can literally open the event and right at the very first stage, you can get 200 tokens completely for free. And that, just for opening the special event and doing 5 races, I think everyone agrees is a quite nice thing for everyone, experienced players and newcomers alike. But wait, because that's not the only thing. If you grab 35 conditions between the first stages and you get to open the second Stradale free try stage, 300 more tokens are waiting for you. So in all the other stages, there are some extra tokens you can actually get based on which of the required cards you own at the right amount of stars. And if you had the Stradale at 6 stars before this rerun, you can get 1000 tokens from the penultimate stage alone, which I consider is a quite nice reward overall. In general, the event feels more rewarding when compared to all the other special events we could see during this season, and that's great since at least those who are not interested in losing their mental sanity grinding the ATS Automobile special hand can actually get something nice from the Stradale special event rerun. Despite the Guerra Air may be the biggest obstacle of the entire special event, I really hope that the conditions that the Aperta provides will be enough to lock the penultimate stage, which is where the interesting amount of tokens are. Overall, it looks quite decent to me, and I'm happy that reruns like this one keep appearing every update or season, since it's beneficial for all kinds of players, because those who have big accounts, big garage, can get some extra tokens which are always welcome, and those with a smaller garage can get blueprints of cars that may not be accessible otherwise, so it's a win-win situation to my eyes. And that's without even mentioning the fact that we are talking about a special event that gives blueprint of the Ferrari SF90 Stradale, a car which, let's remember, I think everyone agrees here, is quite funny to drive thanks to its decent acceleration and great handling. The top speed, however, is something different, since it doesn't go as fast, but it's a result of having such a good handling and drifting capabilities, so it's quite balanced from a general perspective. Also, during this season, the Stradale is one of the cars we can boost with the new overclock feature, but I wouldn't recommend you to do so since the improvement is not massive, and if you don't have the overclock pass and you are more, focused into using your overclock chips the best way possible, this is definitely not the very best option to spend them on. So I would say that the Stradale is a great car to have fun in classic multiplayer, but of course it's not an absolute king, it's more like an useful collector's car. In other topics, I have seen people talking about how crossplay is on the path to be launched at some point in the future, and of course that's only rumors, but if we were set to speculate just a bit, my bet will be that within the 2 next updates or so, it should be either implemented or big announcements being made about it. Also, the community managers made a joke in the official server not so long ago about the apparently never coming new garage levels, so despite it was mentioned long time ago that the new garage levels could be implemented at some point in the future, the truth is that such a moment could either never take place or, maybe take place at some point during this year, who knows. On the other hand, maybe the new garage levels evolve within Gameloft up to a point where, that topic is often referred as an internal joke rather than something that could eventually appear within the game. Of course, you all guys are invited to let me know your thoughts about both topics in the comments section. Talking about your comments, I would really like to know your thoughts about this Ferrari SF90 Stradale special event rerun, and which are your plans about it in the comments section. I really hope you all guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to drop your like, subscribe, and I will see you really soon as usual with much more Asphalt 9 content. Goodbye guys!